In the previous episode, after the assassination attempt on Luo Feng failed, Purple Moon Holy Land attempted to verify whether he was still alive. But their universe masters admitted that their influence within the world of Jin was extremely limited. With no members inside the Python River army and no way to directly contact high-ranking figures like Swan Queen, eventually, confirmation arrived from the original universe that Luo Feng had indeed survived, as his endless remote ocean continued to function normally, leaving Purple Moon Ancestor both frustrated and deeply puzzled, unable to understand how Luo Feng had managed to gain the trust and support of the natives within the world of Jin, and thus he began contemplating new strategies to eliminate him. Yet as time passed without further action from Purple Moon Holy Land, the Third Era quietly arrived, and Luo Feng started preparing for a major plan of his own, prompting concern from Primal Chaos City leader, who questioned whether Luo Feng could truly eliminate a large number of universe masters in a single coordinated strike, given that they were scattered throughout the world of Jin and could easily flee or self-destruct if alerted. Though Luo Feng confidently reassured him that he had already considered these risks, at the same time, Primal Chaos City leader revealed that many races within the Han Alliance were eagerly preparing to enter the world of Jin because the inheritances and treasures there far exceeded anything available in the original universe, making it irresistible regardless of whether those races joined the alliance willingly or under pressure. With more than 100 universe masters expected to participate in this expedition, and Luo Feng clearly understood that this event would influence future territorial dominance among the various races, meaning he could not afford to show even the slightest mercy. While across the wider universe ocean, other factions were making similar preparations. As within the Bug race territory, Bug Empress gathered 20 universe masters and emphasized that the world of Jin was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to obtain supreme true treasures, machine-type treasures, and powerful inheritances that could drastically strengthen their faction and potentially shift the balance of power against humanity, leading all participants to eagerly accept the mission. And within the Demon race territory, Shock Demon Ancestor addressed members of the Demon Alliance, declaring that the United Forces Alliance had long been at a disadvantage compared to the human camp and that the world of Jin represented their best and perhaps only chance to reverse this situation, urging everyone to seize as many treasures and inheritances as possible, which quickly led to a unified consensus across the entire United Forces Alliance, including the Bug race, Demon race, Automaton race, Prison race, Crystal race, the Northern Territory Alliance, and the remaining members of the Freedom Alliance, that the world of Jin was both a critical opportunity and their greatest hope to change the balance of power, resulting in massive numbers of experts pouring into Universe Ocean and heading toward the world of Jin. While in contrast, the Space Beast Alliance chose a different path, as their old beast god declared that they would remain neutral and not assist either humanity or the United Forces Alliance, focusing solely on strengthening themselves through the opportunities presented by the world of Jin and cultivating more Universe Supreme Masters, especially since they had no territorial disputes with humanity and had already established peace due to Luo Feng's connection through his golden-horned beast body, prompting them to withdraw from the broader conflict and avoid unnecessary confrontation. Meanwhile, within the Ancestral God secret region, the three ancestral gods received a fragmented yet ominous message directly from the will of the original universe through a massive whirlpool of light, containing words such as war, survival, death, destiny, and incarnations. And upon interpreting this revelation, they were horrified as they finally understood that a catastrophic disaster was approaching during the current reincarnation era, one so terrifying that even a being like Huge Axe Founder had once been instantly killed by it, leading them to realize that the original universe had deliberately guided countless experts toward the world of Jin so they could grow stronger and acquire the means to confront this impending apocalypse, which prompted the three ancestral gods to immediately decide to warn all major powers throughout Universe Ocean. And at the same time, Luo Feng, along with over 100 universe masters from the Han Alliance, traveled aboard the Star Tower toward the world of Jin, viewing it as humanity's greatest opportunity to rise again after the fall of Huge Axe and potentially secure an unstoppable future. And when they finally arrived outside the world of Jin, they discovered that numerous forces from across Universe Ocean had already gathered there, with even more universe masters present than before. And Luo Feng was particularly surprised to see the three ancestral gods of the Ancestral God School standing near the miniature universe, each radiating power surpassing that of ordinary true gods, which led Primal Chaos City leader to suspect that they were acting under the direct orders of the original universe's willpower. And as more forces continued to arrive, curiosity spread among the gathered experts regarding the purpose of the ancestral god's presence. Until eventually the eldest ancestral god stepped forward and announced that he was speaking on behalf of the will of the original universe, revealing that the massive creature containing the world of Jinn had been personally guided from the depths of universe ocean to its current location by that willpower. A claim that initially met skepticism but was quickly supported by the explanation that without such guidance, discovering the world of Jinn and learning how to enter it would have taken far longer and cost countless lives. And that the will of the original universe always seeks to provide hope for all living beings during times of catastrophe, making the world of Jinn a vital source of survival for the various races. After which the ancestral gods revealed the true reason behind everything by announcing that a great catastrophe was approaching in the form of a terrifying existence known as the Sector Beast, an entity born in opposition to the primal universe whose sole purpose is to destroy all life, shocking everyone present including Luo Feng, who had never heard of such a being before. While nearby, sitting mountain guest quietly appeared and, upon hearing this revelation, immediately understood that a sector beast must have recently been born and acknowledged that it would indeed bring about a massive disaster. As the double-faced ancestral god further explained that sector beasts are the most terrifying life forms in universe ocean, appearing after extremely long periods and bringing destruction wherever they go, and that the reason only 2 Holy Land universes remain today is because all previous ones had been annihilated by sector beasts, and once a sector beast reaches full maturity, it would destroy every universe it encounters, including Holy Land universes, miniature universes, and even the primal universe itself, causing total extinction of all life before the universe eventually resets and begins anew. Which horrified powerful figures across all factions, including Purple Moon Ancestor and East Emperor Ancestor, who immediately realized the severity of the situation and resolved to strengthen themselves as quickly as possible. While back outside the world of Jinn, the ancestral gods continued their explanation by stating that the current sector beast was still in its early stage and therefore represented the best opportunity to eliminate it, as once it matured, it would wipe out all life in the current reincarnation era, leaving no survivors and even causing the temporary destruction of the primal universe. And they further revealed that the purpose of the world of Jinn was precisely to help the experts of Universe Ocean become stronger and obtain powerful treasures needed to defeat the sector beast, even mentioning that the legendary universe boat had originally been created for this very purpose. A statement that shocked many great beings, although Sitting Mountain Guest regarded it as only partially true. And finally, the ancestral gods explained that sector beasts undergo 2 stages, an incubation period and a growth period, during which, in the incubation phase, Universe Ocean gives birth to 1 billion sector beasts that continuously devour one another until only a single survivor remains, representing the ultimate embodiment of destruction, after which it enters the growth phase and gains an internal sector capable of producing countless powerful warriors with exceptional speed, offense, defense, and self-destructive abilities, making it nearly impossible to defeat, leading to the final and urgent warning that no force across the 3 universe eras or even the 2 remaining Holy Lands could stop a fully matured sector beast, and therefore, the only chance for survival is to eliminate all sector beasts during their incubation phase before they can evolve into an unstoppable force that would bring about the end of everything. They further revealed that by the end of the current universe era, only 1 growth stage sector beast would remain if no action was taken, meaning that to prevent this catastrophe, all sector beasts had to be destroyed before the era ended. However, fighting them was extremely dangerous, as universe masters were forbidden from participating due to certain death, and only universe supreme masters could engage them, even then requiring both a supreme true treasure armor and a soul-type supreme true treasure, with machine-type treasures from the world of Jinn further increasing their chances of survival. The warning caused panic throughout Universe Ocean, where most universe masters realized they could contribute nothing and had no intention of risking their lives. Yet Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader understood that someone had to fight. Otherwise the last surviving sector beast would eventually breed an immense army capable of destroying all of Universe Ocean, including the Holy Lands. When asked where the sector beasts were located, The ancestral gods revealed that they lived in the land of darkness deep within the core region of Tilted Peak sector. A revelation that shocked Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader as they realized Huge Axe had died there. Luo Feng inferred that Huge Axe had likely been killed by sector beasts due to lacking powerful treasures. While Primal Chaos City leader was filled with rage upon learning the cause of his death. The ancestral gods also explained that anyone attempting to transcend reincarnation would have to pass through regions surrounding the land of darkness and would be attacked by sector beasts. And even if reincarnation succeeded, their holy lands would eventually be destroyed if the sector beasts survived, making their elimination the only path to survival. They urged everyone to enter the world of Jinn to acquire inheritances, treasures, and machine-type valuables to strengthen themselves, noting that the original universe would reward those who killed sector beasts with valuable treasures and ancient civilization inheritances. After the ancestral gods departed, the entire universe ocean remained in turmoil. And Luo Feng reflected that a mature sector beast was not merely a creature but an entire world capable of endlessly producing warriors that could devastate everything. Back in the world of Jinn, Luo Feng consulted the military information system, which described sector beasts as beings born solely for destruction and annihilation, whose internal dark sectors continuously bred powerful warriors that grew stronger alongside them, even the mighty Jinn country at its peak. With countless true gods, eternal true gods, void space true gods, and powerful machine-type weapons, could not withstand a fully mature sector beast and its army. And throughout history, such beings either had to be destroyed early or eventually forced numerous powers to unite against them. Deeply shaken, Luo Feng realized that if even Jinn country could not resist a mature sector beast, then the current forces of Universe Ocean stood no chance, concluding that all sector beasts had to be eliminated during their incubation period before reaching the growth stage. Outside the world of Jinn, numerous true treasure palaces gathered around the miniature universe, as all powers sought the strength needed either to transcend reincarnation or to confront the sector beasts. And when the membrane of the miniature universe turned white, signaling that entry was possible again, countless true treasure palaces rushed into the world of Jinn from every direction. Luo Feng sent the Han Alliance universe masters inside, reminding them they would need to pass the army screening without his guidance. And after they departed, a silver spaceship emerged from the world of Jinn and entered Star Tower, carrying treasures Luo Feng had obtained, 10 machine-type valuables and 100 true god-level treasures, astonishing Primal Chaos City leader, who realized this wealth rivaled that of all powers in Universe Ocean combined. While Luo Feng noted such treasures would become more common as more experts entered the world of Jinn, and both agreed they should only be awarded to humans who made significant contributions. Luo Feng then returned toward the original universe, and since receiving the godly king of Jinn country's blessing and authority, he effectively held the highest authority in the world of Jinn and could obtain resources freely, leaving his earthling original body there to maintain status and gather treasures while bringing back Golden Horned Beast and preparing to retrieve wuxia God. All while waiting for experts from Purple Moon Holy Land and the United Forces Alliance to enter the world of Jinn, planning a large-scale massacre 1 year later. Across Universe Ocean, many races began considering entry into the world of Jinn after learning about the sector beasts, though the Bug Empress chose to wait and prepare carefully for the Fourth Era. While most races remained cautious since true gods were the pillars of their existence and their death would collapse their miniature universes along with all life inside. Back in human territory, Primal Chaos City leader tested one of Luo Feng's machine-type valuables and was amazed by the power boost. While Luo Feng explained that the original universe had only allowed the discovery of the world of Jinn due to the looming sector beast threat, freely providing him with a machine-type valuable, a soul-type supreme treasure, a palace-type supreme treasure, and a domain-type supreme treasure to prepare for the crisis, Primal Chaos City leader praised Luo Feng's contributions, comparing them to Teacher Origin, and lamented that Huge Axe might have survived if he had possessed such treasures. At that moment, the three ancestral gods arrived with a message from the original will, declaring that although Luo Feng was only a universe master, he was currently the strongest being in Universe Ocean and, due to possessing multiple bodies and being able to recover from losses, was the ideal candidate to fight the sector beasts. Luo Feng remained cautious, noting others might surpass him after acquiring machine-type valuables. But the ancestral gods revealed a crucial reward: contributions against sector beasts could be exchanged with the original universe. And if enough were accumulated, Teacher Origin could be released from suppression and avoid destruction at the end of the current era. Shocked and excited, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader listened as the ancestral gods explained he could visit the ancestral god secret region to communicate directly with the original will if needed. And after they departed, Primal Chaos City leader warned that the sector beast crisis threatened all races and could lead to humanity's extinction, making even freeing Teacher Origin less urgent by comparison, cautioning Luo Feng not to be influenced by the primal universe's will and to focus on becoming a true god to increase his strength. While also questioning whether the primal universe truly wanted the sector beast destroyed or intended to use it to eliminate Luo Feng, since almost no one had faced such a being. Its true destructive power remained unknown. And if Luo Feng's soul were destroyed, all his bodies would perish, requiring extreme caution. He further pointed out that throughout countless ages, even when facing sector beasts, the primal universe had never truly been destroyed, at worst collapsing into its origin and reforming. So he questioned why it was so determined to eliminate them and suspected a deeper scheme. A concern Luo Feng understood and agreed with, while Primal Chaos City leader ultimately expressed fear that just as Teacher Origin had been suppressed, Luo Feng might also be led toward destruction by the will of the primal universe. Luo Feng did not immediately head to the Land of Darkness because the sector beast only needed to be eliminated before the end of the current reincarnation era, leaving him plenty of time to prepare. And he instead focused on preparing for the upcoming big sweep. Several days later, in the Milky Way Holy Land, remote ocean, Luo Feng continued studying the third stage of Shi Wu Wings and hoped that mastering more secret techniques would help him advance along the godly body path. Believing that life gene comprehension, secret techniques, and the Rhinoceros Emperor game were all interconnected. While cultivating, Luo Feng received a message from his teacher, Sitting Mountain Guest, who had largely disappeared since the emergence of the Fourth Dangerous Land and shown little interest in major events. He warned Luo Feng not to rush into the Land of Darkness, as it was the sector beast's nest, instructed him to visit before taking action, and then abruptly ended the conversation. Luo Feng found this unusual, as his teacher had always been calm and caring, yet had changed significantly since the appearance of the Fourth Dangerous Land, leading Luo Feng to suspect a deep connection to the Jin dynasty, supported by clues such as the 9-volume manual and Star Tower, making him feel that Sitting Mountain Guest was hiding a major secret. Putting these thoughts aside, Luo Feng focused on the big sweep, and 1 year later in the world of Jin at the East Army's Python River Army Camp, he used his military point ring to access records, having conducted 6 investigations during the year to monitor universe masters from the United Forces Alliance and Purple Moon Holy Land who had entered. After reviewing simulations of all lawmasters and true gods who passed the army selections, he identified 61 lawmasters of interest, noting they had entered in 5 batches with the final group arriving 2 months earlier and no new recruits since. He concluded that the influx peaked between the 2nd and 8th months of the Third Era and declined afterward, with Purple Moon Holy Land sending 110 universe masters and the United Forces Alliance 166 during the year, estimating that about 205 and 238 respectively remained alive in the world of Jin. He believed most available universe masters had already entered and, since few were eliminated during selection, concluded that universe ocean masters survived more easily than native cultivators, with many carrying valuable treasures that could be exchanged for military point rewards, making the world of Jin extremely beneficial. Having gathered enough information, Luo Feng decided to act and contacted the 4 generals of the 4 major armies through the military world, recognizing him as the godly king's heir. They responded immediately, and although initially alarmed by his intent to kill a group of lawmasters, they relaxed upon learning the number was fewer than 500. Luo Feng explained the targets were scattered across all 4 armies and planned to eliminate them simultaneously using soul attacks, requesting the generals to deploy their miniature universes to envelop the camps and ensure no escape. He provided life auras and locations for 443 targets, with 201 in the East Army, 60 in the North Army, and the rest elsewhere. The generals activated their miniature universes to silently locate all targets, and once confirmed, Luo Feng sat alone on an island, poured himself a cup of wine, and gave the command to act. Instantly, Precise attacks were unleashed, killing all targeted soldiers, who were actually disguised universe masters from the universe ocean, without exception. Across the original universe, deaths occurred simultaneously. Automaton race masters collapsed mid-conversation. Pattern Shell ancestor died while passing inheritance. A three-headed beast perished while issuing orders. And similar scenes unfolded everywhere, causing panic as many races lost their leaders and strongest experts, leading to decline or destruction. Observing through the world of Jin, Luo Feng saw the chaos but recalled humanity's own suffering, destroyed planets, massacred civilians, annihilated families, and reflected that survival among races was built on endless war. He believed this decisive strike was better than prolonged conflict, as it weakened enemy forces and forced retreat, preventing even greater destruction in the future. After confirming all targets were eliminated, Luo Feng felt no joy, only cold determination, quietly declaring they deserved to die for humanity's sake before informing Primal Chaos City leader, who was delighted. Meanwhile, in the demon race's virtual world, several universe masters suddenly disappeared, alarming others who reported to Dream Demon Ancestor. Investigations revealed that all demon race alliance masters who had entered the world of Jin had died, confirmed by Shock Demon Ancestor, leaving only a few survivors and filling them with regret and fury. The same catastrophe struck other allied forces such as the Automaton, Bug, Prison, Crystal races, and Northern Territory Alliance, with many losing nearly all their universe masters. Initially believing all factions were affected, they later discovered that groups like the Skeleton Race and East Emperor Holy Land had suffered almost no losses, leading to the realization that only the United Forces Alliance and Purple Moon Holy Land had been targeted. Purple Moon Holy Land confirmed total losses, and both factions concluded a hidden conspiracy was responsible, since the Human Alliance suffered no losses and benefited most. Suspicion fell on them, and combined with prior assassination attempts on Luo Feng, they ultimately believed the humans had orchestrated the annihilation.